What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video of my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over some college basketball games for Saturday, March 18th, 2023. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks for these games for the weekend. Let's go ahead and get into the games. We're going to be looking at all 8 games for Saturday. These guys all right here. I'm just gonna briefly go over each game. I'll give you 1 or 2 narratives for each side. I'm not gonna spend too much time. I mean, 8 games, I can spend a lot of time on it. So I'm gonna make this video. I don't want to make this video 20, 25 minutes long. I want it to be like 10, 15 minutes. But we're gonna look at all 8 of these games. I'm just gonna show you some brief highlights for each side. I have been picking all the bracket games. I've picked the first 4 games. I've picked all 16 games on Thursday. I've made all 16 picks for Friday. It's been extremely fun, but highly stressful just because that's a lot of games to build out and write out and post in time. I've had to break it down into sections, but it's been fun so far. Definitely some big surprises that I wasn't anticipating. But let's look at these Saturday games. And I'll be doing all games on Sunday as well. And my goal is to pick all 68 tournament bracket games. So I have yet to not pick a game so far. I think by the end of this on April 3rd, I think it's 68 games total. I'm doing all 68 of them. Win or lose, rain or shine, I'm doing all 68 games of those. You know, that's just what it is. It's what I do. I pick games. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while, but it is what it is. On this side of the screen, let me bring it up a little bit bigger. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. On this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. I have one team up top, their coach's record, their season record, their tournament record as a team all time, any type of win or losing streak that they're on. In the middle is where I usually have the head-to-head records between the 2 teams all time. I couldn't find a head-to-head record between Furman and San Diego State. But at the bottom is the other team, their season record, their tournament record, and their coach's record. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this, starting with Furman and San Diego State. So some just brief things here. I'm going to start with the bottom team and go over some numbers for the bottom team to win. And then I'm going to go over some numbers for the top team to win. So some numbers here for San Diego State to win this game. San Diego State, they could become 8-14 for a tournament record all time, as their coach gets his 148th win all time for his career. You can see that those numbers are anagrams of each other. 8-14 tournament record, as their coach picks up his 148th win for his career. 148, 8-14, they're just anagrams of each other. San Diego State, they can get their 29th win for the season and their 35th game for the season. 29 sums to 149, the 35th prime number. But I didn't mark that just because either one of these teams can get their 29th win for the season. So whatever 29 connections you can make, it can apply to both sides. This will be a day it'll be the 77th day of the Gregorian, a day leaving 288 left in the Gregorian year. Furman can end their 7-game winning streak as they become 28-8 for a season record with the loss, like 288, 288, 77 day, 288 left. It's a day with 44 date numerology on the Gregorian. Their coach, it's his 193rd game, the 44th prime. 44, if you write it out, sums to 54, and he can get his 54th loss for his career. And that would be the San Diego State side. If we switch it over to the Furman side, what would it take for Furman to do another upset? Well, it is going to be a day with 64 date numerology on the Gregorian. 64, if you write it out, sums to 157. San Diego State can become 7-15 for a tournament record with a loss. 7-15 is just an anagram of 157. San Diego State would get their 15th tournament loss as a team, as their coach gets his 47th loss for his career. 47 is the 15th prime number. And with it being the 77th day of the Gregorian year, San Diego State can get their 7th loss for the season instead of Furman ending their 7-game winning streak. And then another thing that could happen for Furman is they can get their 8th win in a row. It is a day with 19 date numerology on the Gregorian. 19 is the 8th prime number. And then Furman could become 2-0 like 20 for a tournament record as a team with a win. If you write out the number 20, it sums to 28 and 107, the 28th prime number. Today will be a day with 28 date numerology on the Gregorian. So that's what I have for that first game there. Let's go on to the next one. We have Duke versus Tennessee, starting with the bottom team, and then we'll go over the top team. So starting with Tennessee, Tennessee's interesting. It's their 50th tournament game as a team. They could become 25-25 for a tourney record as a team with the win, as they get their 25th win for the season. 25, if you write it out, sums to 50. It is the 77th day of the Gregorian year. 77, if you write it out, sums to 175. Tennessee coach can get his 175th win as a coach specifically for Tennessee. And it will be a day with 19 date numerology on the Gregorian. 19 is the 8th prime number. Tennessee can even score 8-8 head-to-head against Duke all time with a win. And that's kind of what I would chalk up for Tennessee as of right now. For Duke, if Duke's going to win this game, it is a day leaving 288 left in the Gregorian calendar. Duke can become 28-8 for a season record with a win to advance. They can get their 120th tournament win all time as a team on a day with 120 date numerology for the Hebrew religious side of the calendar. It will be the 351st day of the Hebrew civil year, Hebrew religious side. 351, the 26 triangular number, could be a reason why Tennessee gets their 26th tourney loss. They are the current 4 seed, and there is only 4 days left in the Hebrew religious. And I think that's it for these two sides. Like I said, I'm just going to move through these pretty quickly. Let's go on to the next game here. Arkansas versus Kansas. Now, starting with the bottom team here, Kansas. If Kansas was going to win, not a whole lot jumped out to me, honestly. But it is Arkansas's 35th game for the season. They can get their 35th tournament loss as a team. That kind of stood out to me a little bit. Kansas, they could become 2-0 head-to-head against Arkansas all time in the tournament, like 20. If you read out 20, which I already done, sums to 28. 28 date numerology on the Gregorian. Outside of that, I didn't really see, nothing really jumped out at me as far as connections go, just offhand. I don't know. As far as Kansas goes, that was kind of it. Yeah, not a whole lot there. I mean, if Arkansas in their 35th game gets their 35th tournament loss, Kansas, they can get their 29th win for the season. 29 sums to 149, the 35th prime number. It also sums to 49, and that's what Arkansas would be. They'd be 49-35 for a tourney record with a loss. And that's just kind of what I've scraped together for Kansas as of right now. If Arkansas was going to win this game, Kansas, they can become 28-8 for a season record with a loss on a day with 288 left in the Gregorian year. This would be the 3rd game in a row that potentially a team could become 28-8. So you have Furman that could become 28-8 on a day leaving 288 left. You have Duke that could become 28-8 on a day leaving 288 left. And you have Kansas that could become 28-8 on a day leaving 288 left. Will all 3 of those hit? I don't necessarily know. I wouldn't put all 3. I wouldn't put all 3 of them in my basket. But it is there. And another thing is that today has 64 date numerology on the Gregorian. 64 sums to 86. Also 19 date numerology on the Gregorian, and 19 sums to 86 as well. And Arkansas or Kansas can fall 8 and 6 all time head to head against Arkansas with a loss. And Arkansas, they could get some revenge here against Kansas, the number 1 seed. Arkansas can even score 1-1 head to head against Kansas all time in the tournament. And then Arkansas can get their 50th tourney win as a team on a day with 64 date numerology. 64 sums to 86 and 50. So that's what I would put for that game right there. Next one up, Princeton versus Missouri. Already going on 10 minutes here. Got to speed it up a little bit more. Princeton versus Missouri. Starting with the bottom team, Missouri, they can get their 26th win for the season on the 351st day of the Hebrew religious year. 351 is the 26th triangular number. Missouri, this is their 35th game for the season. They could become 3-0 all-time head-to-head against Princeton with the win, as Princeton gets their 30th tourney loss as a team. 30 written out, sums to 35. Also, Princeton could become 22-9 for a season record with the loss. 229 mathematically is the 50th prime number. And today has 64 date numerology on the Gregorian, 64 sums to 50. On the flip side, though, Missouri coach, he can just go ahead and get his 50th loss for his career. That could be the 50 connection right there. And then Missouri would get their 29th tourney loss as a team. 29 sums to 50 as well. So it could flip that way. And this is the 15th seed versus the 7th seed, like 157. 64 date numerology on the Gregorian. It sums to 50 and 157. So that could be the connection for that right there to happen. What else? Missouri, they would sit on 25 wins for the season with a loss to go with, and 25 also sums to 50. As their coach gets his 50th loss. 23, I didn't really see anything for the 23 for Princeton getting their 23rd win. Nothing jumps out at me at this time, but Princeton could sit on 29 losses as a tourney record with a win to go along with Missouri getting their 29th tourney loss, and so on and so forth. Princeton getting their 15th. You know, Princeton is the 15th seed. They can go ahead and get their 15th tourney win as a team as the 15th seed. So this could potentially be another upset for Princeton here, with that being said. But I just didn't see anything for the 23 that stuck out to me. Maybe you guys see something. But I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm going to keep it moving.
Sorry to interrupt this video, you guys, but I need a huge favor from you. Can you go ahead and like this video and leave a comment below on who you think's going to win? It's going to help with the YouTube algorithm. It's going to help grow my channel. I really appreciate you guys being here. Let's go ahead and get back into the video.
Auburn versus Houston. Starting with the bottom team here. Houston can get their 33rd win for the season in their 66th tourney game all time. 33 written out, sums to 66. Auburn would become 21-13 for a season record with a loss. 21-13 is the 319th prime number, which is basically just an anagram of 193, the 44th prime number. And today does have 44 date numerology on the Gregorian. It's a day with 19 date numerology on the Gregorian, the number 1 seed versus the number 9 seed, like 19. Auburn can sit on 19 tourney wins with a loss to go with. On the flip side, though, this day does have 64 date numerology on the Gregorian. 64 sums to 157, the 37th prime number. Houston can sit on 37 tourney wins with a loss. Auburn, they can get their 20th tourney win as a team on a day with 28 date numerology. If you write out the number 20, it sums to 28. And in fact, 20 sums to 28 and 26. And Auburn could become 2-6 all-time head-to-head against Houston with the win, like 26. And it will be the 351st day of the Hebrew religious side of the calendar, the 26 triangular number. So we can probably just go ahead and mark that in purple. As far as them getting their 22nd win for the season, I didn't see anything jump out at me on that one. But Houston could get their 4th loss for the season on a day with 44 date numerology for the Gregorian. So that could be something. And that's what I'm going to put for that one for right now. Heading to Penn State and Texas. Penn State versus Texas. So starting with the bottom team, this could be the 4th team of the day that could become 28-8 for a season record with a win or a loss. For Texas, they could get it with a win. They could become 28-8 on a day with 288 left in the Gregorian year. It's the 77th day of the Gregorian, and this will be their 77th tourney game as a team. They're playing the number 10 seed Penn State, and Penn State can sit on 10 tourney wins with a loss, as Texas becomes 1-0 head-to-head against Penn State all time with a win. Texas can get their 38th tourney win as a team, as their coach sits on 163 losses for his career with the win, 163, the 38th prime number. On the flip side, though, this is a day with 64 date numerology on the Gregorian. 64 sums to 157, the 37th prime number. This is Penn State's 37th game for the season. Texas can sit on 37 tourney wins with a loss. This is Penn State's coach's 68th game for his career, and he can get his 38th win for his career to go with. If you write out the number 38, it sums to 68. With the 24-13, I don't know if I saw anything with that. Nothing jumped out at me, I don't think. 50. I mean, I guess you can say it sums to 50, 64 date numerology, 64 sums to 50, and 157, the 37th prime. Could be in their 37th game. They can get their 24th win. 24 sums to 50. Penn State, they could become 11-11 for a tourney record with the win in their first all-time head-to-head matchup between these two. Just a bunch of ones going on there, I suppose. And it is a day with 28 date numerology on the Gregorian. This is Texas coach's 28th game as a coach specifically for Texas. He could become 20-8 for a record with the loss, which kind of looks like a 28. And it is the 18th of March, 18/3. Texas coach can sit on 183 wins for his career with the loss. So there's that as well. Northwestern versus UCLA. So starting with the bottom team here, UCLA, they could become 31-5 for a season record on the 351st day of the Hebrew religious year. 351, 315. They're just anagrams of each other. There is 114 date numerology on the Hebrew civil side of the calendar. UCLA can get that 114th tourney win as a team, as they sit on 44 losses on a day with 44 date numerology for the Gregorian. 64 date numerology on the Gregorian as well. UCLA coach can get his 464th win for his career, 464, 64. They're just kind of the same numbers being used. And then Northwestern would sit on 22 wins for the season, as they become 2-2, like 22 for a tourney record with the loss. However, this is March 18th, written 3/18 or 18/3, a day with 64 date numerology on the Gregorian. 64 sums to 157. And in Northwestern coach's 318th game for his career, he can pick up his 157th win for his career. It is a day with 44 date numerology on the Gregorian. If you write out 44, it does sum to 45. UCLA can go from 44 to 45 tourney losses as a team. They can sit on 113 tourney wins with a loss, the 30th prime number, as they sit on 30 wins for the season with a loss to go with. This is their 36th game for the season. Go ahead and mark this in a dark blue. And their coach can get his 36th loss as a coach specifically for UCLA. Northwestern, they can sit on 11 losses for the season as they become 3-1 for a tourney record with a win, like 31, the 11th prime number. And last game up here, Maryland versus Alabama. Starting with the bottom team here, Alabama could become 31-5 for a season record with the win on the 351st day of their Hebrew religious. 351, 315, they're just anagrams of each other. 351 is the 26 triangular number, and Alabama would get their 26th tourney win as a team to go with their 315 season record with the win. Now, this is the 84th NCAA tournament all time. How long is Alabama coach going to be sitting on 84 losses for his career in the 84th NCAA tournament? We'll see how long that lasts, but he could continue to sit on 84 losses in the 84th NCAA tournament. And then Maryland, they would sit on 44 wins, tournament wins with a loss on a day with 44 date numerology. And Maryland would get their 29th tourney loss as their coach sits on 292 wins with a loss. 292, 29, similar numbers being used. But if we would switch it over here to Maryland for the upset potentially, we can say that this is Alabama's 36th game. They could become 30-6 for a season record with a loss, which kind of looks like a 36. Maryland, they can get their 45th tourney win as a team. Today has 28 and 44 date numerology on the Gregorian. 44 sums to 45. They could become 45-28 for a tourney record as a team with the win. Alabama, they would fall 2-5, like 25 all-time head-to-head against Maryland with the loss, as they sit on 25 tourney wins with the loss to go with. And I didn't see anything for the 23, unfortunately. Let's do 52. Right out 52. That didn't really jump out at me either. I don't know. Nothing really jumps out at the 23. But of course, I'm going to keep looking at this stuff. This is, like I said, this is just a quick read for each side. I didn't want to make this video too long, but looking at the time, I'm already at 22 minutes. And after putting in the intro, it's probably going to be longer than what I wanted it to be. But this is a quick read for all 8 games for Saturday. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you insight to these games, get you started on a decode, adds to a decode. Like I said, I've picked every single tournament game so far, and I'm going to continue to do so. So if you're looking for a sports Gematria decoder that's going to be doing all the games, I've been doing it. I think I'm the only one that's actually making clear, concise picks for every single game. No fence sitting, no leans, just straight up picks. I'm not getting all of them right, that's for sure. I've definitely taken my losses, but I'm doing okay. I'm still above water. And I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys, just checking out these videos, checking out my page and stuff like that. I try and bring you guys as much value as I possibly can without, I can't do this full time. I want to do this full time, but I just don't have enough financial support to do this full time. So even picking 68 games over the next couple of weeks is a lot. Most sports decoders, for them to pick 68 games, they would need a minimum of 68 days. But I love the challenge. I love to grow as a decoder. I'm not afraid to lose. I'm not afraid of a challenge. And, I believe in my system that I use here, my daily numbers and my game numbers. I believe in this system. I've used it so much to where I'm not afraid to pick all these games because I know in the end I'm going to have a winning percentage. I'm not going to win every game, but I'm not going to be, operating at a 40% or a 30% win ratio. I'm going to be above 50%. I know it. I've proven it over and over again. I mean, I'm coming up on 5,000 games in the last couple of years. and I'm still at 60% win ratio overall. So either way, I appreciate it, guys. Hopefully you win all the money in the world. I wish you guys the best of luck. Hopefully this helps. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.